On the Sabres, though, you said nothing. It's going to be really hard for a lot of fans to buy in until the GM is changed. And I agree with that. And last night, I think there's one other thing that could happen that I don't know how long it takes for us to actually buy into this thing happening. But another amazing player on the team that is just on the team. We've been waiting to see him, and he's just on the team. Like this, it's not quite Consta Hellenius coming up and being awesome, but that would help too. But if Josh Norris is just healthy and awesome, that'll do a lot of work.
Yeah.
Right?
It'll help a lot.
If you all of a sudden have multiple forwards that you think are world-class level, Olympians / whatever, just on that cusp. Like I've got Dahlin and Tage. And after that, what am I at? I'm at, well, Zucker's nice, and Benson's analytics are good, and
he's on his 70 assist pace.
There you go. So I've got, how about Samuelson? I can make my jokes that he should be up for the Norris. But another just awesome player, if Josh Norris ends up working out and being a better player than Dylan Cousins, okay. Josh Doan looks like a nice piece, right? Like he's having, but Norris to me is the only other thing that if it started to look really good for a month, and I mean they play 14 games and he has 17 to 19 points. Like, okay, now I feel like I can start to see my way out of the desert because, I mean,
if you're just plugging in a point per game player just on the team.
Controversial take here. What they really need are more really good players.
Yes.
And that's been the case for a long time. Like, they need more really good players. And if it turns out, that guy that hurt his shoulder in a face-off and we said he's going to be out for 8 weeks and you got mad? Yeah, I remember him. What happened? Oh, he came back and ripped off 30 points in 20 games. Oh, that's significant. That would get me more to the screen. That would get me to, let me check out the standings. How good are these teams,
It's a bad year.
That's the thing. I almost want to borrow a little bit of a Bills mindset and say, I don't know if they're very good. The good news is you might not have to be very good this year.
Right, because at the moment, you're at 26 points, and the top 3 in the division are Tampa at 34. Don't worry about them. They've won 7 in a row. So you're at 26. Number 2 in the division is Boston with 30, and number 3 is Montreal with 29.
Right.
Division stinks.
Now,
Division stinks.
You're still tied for last in the East in point percentage.
Right.
But nobody appears to be all that good. So, all right. There we go.
And you haven't been healthy, and he's a big piece of that. It would go a long way. You're going to have to see, I think, half a season's worth of him being that level of player. Because really, he's been that player one time in his entire career, and this is year 7 for him. So you're asking for him to get that amount of buy-in from fans and to do things that he did last night on a consistent basis. He's got to be a player that he's been one time in 7 years. So your odds of him being that good, if it does happen, like Kevin Adams will get another win in his pocket, I think, on a trade.
Yep.
And then suddenly Adams could look good on like all the big trades he's ever made, which is kind of funny.
Because he waited so long to make them?
Exactly. So I don't know how much credit he'll really get, but at the moment, like the McLeod-Savoy trade looks great for him.
Mm-hmm.
The Byram for Middlestat trade might not look great for him, but it doesn't look bad because they didn't give Colorado dumped Middlestat after like 4 months. So that's not the end of the world. And then your Peterka, Doan, and Kesselring trade
looks just fine.
Doan's got more points than J.J. Peterka waking up this morning.
I know. Sabres Twitter feels the need to point that out every day.
It's funny. Sabres Twitter is at the same time wanting, like, constantly, let's fire Kevin Adams into, this is why we won this trade.
Yeah.
Because the other one is Josh Norris, which you could do. I did this even a little bit last night because Cousins, I think, is having a fake good year in Ottawa. He's got 4 even strength goals on the year, and in 2 games, Norris already has 2.
Mm-hmm.
So the trades aren't even looking that bad. But, right, it took so long to make them, that I don't think you'll get full credit. If Doan goes off, though, and he's like a legit number 1 center, I don't even need like Olympian level, but if he's just a competent
30, 40 goal scorer.
Yeah, number 1 center caliber player in the NHL, and he stays healthy for like 2 months, then I think the tide could turn a little bit on how fans think about it.
When they missed by a point, Tage had 30 to 40?
47 and 47.
Okay, what did Tuch have that year?
Tuch had
30 to 40?
Goals, I think he had 36.
36, okay. Because
Skinner, I think, also had like 35.
Right, you had three guys.
Cousins had, goals that year. Tage had 47, Tuch had 36, Skinner had 35, Cousins 31, Olofsson 28.
Yeah.
So you had 5 guys with 28 or more goals.
Pretty good.
4 in the 30s.
And that's the closest you got. You scored a bunch of goals. You got kind of close.
Yeah.
Yep. Then last year, like looking at what they did, you had Thompson with 44. The next closest, 27. You had one player over 28.
Right.
The playoff year, I say playoff year, the year they got close, 5 guys over 28. Last year, 1 guy over 28.
Tuch got 36.
Okay.
So 2.
I wonder. Oh, sorry. I'm sorted by points here, not by goals.
Yeah, two guys. 2 over 28.
2 over 28. So, yeah, more good players, more goal scorers. Like, that's good. The other thing I'm immediately asking about myself, about Norris, and I don't know when you would feel like you could trust it, that he's going to stay healthy. It's almost impossible to trust it.
Waiting to say that. Yeah.
Could his presence, if he finishes the season, plays healthy, and has a 40-goal pace, 30-goal pace, and you just feel great about it, would that make it more or less likely you bring back Alex Tuch? Would you feel like, I've got another really good player at a really good value that drives play, and I don't know that I need to give Alex Tuch this money because maybe I have more building blocks of a good team. This hopefully is a decision made by like Yarmo maybe. Is Kevin Adams going to be around to sign an 8-year deal for Tuch at top dollar? Maybe not. But what would you do about that? Would Norris change? Would it make you think we're closer, stay in this game, bring back Tuch? Or is it more of I've got a good player here, I don't need to go and spend this 12 here. I'll spend it somewhere else, younger, whatever it might be. It doesn't have to be directly related, but it's instantly a thought I have because that's how this works. Somebody shows up like, maybe I can get by without that other guy.
If you believe they would spend the money that they would but they would retain by not paying Alex Tuch $11 million a year, right? Like that's part of it too. Because one thing about Norris is he's already under contract. Mm-hmm. Like there's no, I got to pay one of the two. Like Norris is here until 2030. Like he's here for the long haul. So I think if he were to stay healthy and be a legitimate number 1 center, then I don't know, like that should ramp up the desire to maybe even keep Tuch, I think. It depends how the season is going too, but if they're healthy and Norris is playing well and they're back in the race and they're even in a spot at some point during the year, then I don't know, just like it's hard for me to ever get to they should move Alex Tuch unless you just know you're out of it and things are going poorly. That's when you trade Alex Tuch. I think if things are going well, they're going to want to keep it together, aren't they? If things are going well from here to the deadline, and
sure,
the GM is in place still, because the GM's in place still because hey, things are actually looking up. Division's bad. Maybe we're 3rd in the division.
Well, I don't mean from a standpoint of getting rid of him at the deadline and selling. I just mean the Tuch decision is going to be, are you going to pay more than he's worth for longer than you should because you're the Sabres and you can't lose that guy? And I wonder if you get a little better if you feel less desperate to need to do that. Like, imagine if they made the playoffs and won a round this year, which, again, like that seems nuts. Are they more or less desperate to get it done? Maybe his price comes down because he sees, hey, we're good. All right.
Right. He might be charging them a premium right now because you're asking me to sign an 8-year deal with a team that's been horrible.
Right. If they finish in 27th, his price might be $14 million. If they finish in 13th and win a round, that price might be $11.5. Just because, okay, life's fine. I'm good with this. I don't need to be convinced to stick with this organization in the midst of this, horrible drought. So I don't know. Like last night was a good night. They beat Winnipeg. Norris looked great. It
also could be 11.5, by the way, because that's going to be the going rate of a player of his caliber at his age.
Well, that's the going rate.
Adrian Kempe went for basically that price, and he's the same age, and he's had less goals than Tuch has.
He's the same age, and he didn't hit unrestricted free agency either.
No.
And he stayed with which team?
he stayed with the Los Angeles Kings.
Which is a competitive team in a big market that if you're him, you're like, fine, I'll just take that money.
But if anyone believes Tuch isn't getting $11 million on the open market, I think he's getting more than that.
No, that's what I'm saying. I think
that's why I almost feel like he'd be crazy to sign with the Sabres.
All the comps to me seem low because he might really take it all the way to free agency to the moment to July 1st.
And the other thing with the Sabres, it's always a compounding issue. It's not always just, hey, what does it look like on your cap and the term, but also every contract in the league right now that's being signed is like, it's just heavily bonus.
Right.
So it's a heavy bonus contract.
You got to write a check for, whatever.
And
it's got to go all in escrow.
Honestly, we could be arguing about like, oh, should you give him 7 or 8 years and this $1 million? But the Sabres might even be open to that. It's possible they would be differing on Tuch wants like all bonus money, and the Sabres don't want to do any bonus money.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. 803-0550. Sabres win. Winnipeg has a players-only meeting, and for the Sabres now, it's a lengthy road trip. It's a good thing they got this win ahead of the road trip because the trip is long, and they're going to need some wins. Philly, Winnipeg, Calgary, Edmonton, Vancouver, Seattle. That Western Conference. We get some Sabres After Dark coming up this month into next week. Their next home game is December 18th, so they will be gone for a while. And maybe they can stack some wins.
Maybe Cooley comes back at some point during that time as well. We'll see. But, hey, if they're healthier, how many games have we really felt like they've played this year that we could really judge whether they're a good team or not? I don't think it's just the one. I don't think it has to be Norris is in the lineup. But is it 2 weeks of games?
Maybe. It's not many.
To see if your blueprint was actually worthwhile at all.
Right. To see Kesselring and Norris and
Benson, because he didn't play a lot of games.
To see your pieces in place, to see your upgraded Samuelson, to get Dahlin, to get Tage.
Zucker missed a month with a virus, right? Like
through this frustration, a lot of players have missed a lot of time, and nobody wants to make excuses. Nobody wants to hear excuses, but maybe a good solid month of seeing who they are could be good.
That's why, like, when I see, like, hey, like, what's with the Sabres? Once in a while, they're crushing teams. So, like, why can't they do that all the time? That's not why I'd be open to them actually being a good team from here to the end. The reason I'd be open to them being a good team from here to the end is there were a lot of people, especially like data looking at it that way type of analysts before the season that said like this team could be a good team, playoff team, right? Like there were a bunch of those accounts and sites that were like this is going to be a team that's on the bubble at the very least. And then everybody got hurt or missed with sickness or blood clots. So like those guys coming back would be the reason why I would be open to them actually being good from here on. It has nothing to do to me with like, oh, they mix in a great game here and there. Because every team in the NHL does that for all of time. But if Norris stays healthy, and we probably will be saying that every game he plays for a year, by the way, if he stays healthy, then I think that could be a pretty big difference between what you had at the beginning of the year and going forward. The pace for making the playoffs in the Atlantic, it might be like 92 points. It's not gonna. It's been like 100 every year to be in the top 3 in the Atlantic, and this year it might be like 92, 93 points.
Well, their pace right now is 82, so they're gonna have to win.
They still have to go above that.
I love doing it. Lindy's5.com, which I use differently than it was intended, because the goal was 6 out of every 10 points.
Right.
And Lindy doing 5 game sets, did you get 6 out of 10? The Sabres, of course, have not done that, but at Lindy's5.com, you can click the what if part and add in wins and losses. And I can basically, just like the New York Times playoff machine, click wins until they get back on the pace of just 6 out of every 10. And starting now, they have to win 5 in a row to have a game for a chance to then win and get ahead of the pace. So 6 more consecutive wins would get on that pace.
Yeah,
a 97-point pace.
I like the Sneaky Joe plan instead, which was I think I said this a week. You might have been off, which is just climb over 1 team a week. There you go. That's your goal. 1 team a week, and within a month and a half, you're in a spot. And yesterday they climbed over 2 teams.
That's right, but that's difficult because tonight they could fall behind those 2 teams.
That's right. That's why you got to do it every Saturday.
Every Saturday, see how many teams?
Every Saturday night, where are you? You got to climb over 1 team a week every Saturday night.
Do you have a number you're shooting for? Is it 95? Because they have to win 5 consecutive games to get on the 95-point pace.
I don't think it's going to take 95.
Okay.
I think this is a bad year. It could really be 90, 91, 92. Like that would probably be the division spot that would be available. Like right now, Boston and Montreal are your two teams in the Atlantic, and I don't think anybody is convinced those are good teams at all.
803-0550. On the Sabres, if you want it. We open there. Winnipeg had their player-only meeting, and the Sabres head out for a Western Conference swing. We are scheduled to talk with Lindy Ruff coming up at 8 o'clock this morning. And on Josh Norris, one quick thing on him I want to mention before the break, and then we'll get to the Patriots because last night's outcome has really, really locked in some formats, some scenarios for the AFC East. Mm-hmm. On Norris, though, it's one thing for a guy to just score goals. Like when he scored the breakaway goal, that is as smooth a goal as a player has scored for the Sabres other than Tage in forever.
Did it not look like the Eichel goal?
100%.
From, what was it? It was the RJ Cam Eichel
I'm glad
goal that one
you
year.
said it because what I wanted to say was like that looked like Jack scoring a goal. Like that dude made it look easy all the time, and that's
he's also wearing number 9, and it's like the same, and he's the same height.
That helps too.
That helps.
But that's kind of what got me to. Apologies, by the way. Like the last time I was really excited about the Sabres, it was when they had great players and thought they could be good, but they were not able to. Like I saw that goal, and I was reminded, like, all it really is going to take is a couple great players. How do you get them? Maybe you have one. He just has to stay healthy. So if you want to jump in on that, you can. 803-0550, 1-888-550-2550.